go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So, like always, we're going to start off with SPY, and then we'll go over some individual names for swings. So, when it came to SPY today, if we pull up the 30-minute chart here, obviously on the call side, nothing really going on. 10 SMA's below 50 there. If we flip to the put side, super choppy day. Today was pretty much a neutral day. The 50 SMA kind of just sloped down the entire day. Told you guys going into today that we got to see if the market's going to actually flip bearish and see some continuation to the downside. Today, that 50 SMA was pretty much sloped down the entire day. There might have been slight curls of the 50, but we didn't get any continuation to follow that to really confirm that we had the bear trend going. So today, just treating the market as neutral. I didn't even want to touch SPY today. I didn't take anything on SPY. But if we just flip to the 0DT chart, call side, obviously there was nothing since we did pretty much move lower the entire day. And then if we flip to the put side, we have this nasty cross right here that ended up happening. So this little cross ended up happening. Just a very weird looking chart. I'm not sure if there was an entry. I don't think I was on the SPY chart at this time. But we got a little bit of a move lower, and then we just, crossed negative, lost 50, and then recrossed back up, saw a little bit of a move lower, but nothing that I wanted to take. I mean, with how price action's been, this is not something I wanted to take. Just didn't want to take any trades on SPY because one, we had a banger swing on Tesla, which I'll go over. I just, after that really good swing, I'm just calling it a day at that. Really good day. It was a really phenomenal day. If you just take in, Tesla, that's all we needed for the day. I didn't really care about anything else. If we saw a good setup to swing, I would have taken it, but we never got our entry on any other names. So I just sat back and let price action do its thing. So, for today, really want to touch SPY. Not, a big fan of the price action. But if you wanted to, you could have probably tried this cross at some point, and you would have gotten probably either take profit. Maybe you would have actually gotten take profit on this. I mean, that's a pretty hefty move lower, and then it would recross back up in here. You probably could have kind of moved lower. But again, like I said, not something that I was going to be taking today. When we look on the higher time frames for SPY, what do we look like? I know we're sitting at pretty major spots here. That 1 hour chart never ended up crossing. Started to reject that 1 hour 50, and then same thing with a 2 hour. We rejected that last week. Pretty much just got to wait and see what happens. I mean, we have CPI on Thursday. Market may just kind of stall out until then, so wouldn't expect anything too crazy. We do have some data tomorrow morning, so maybe that'll help move the market, give us some volatility, but this is the key chart to watch for tomorrow. If that 50 curl up aggressively and stay flattened out, market will be bearish, and then you just want to focus on the shorts. If we lose this 50 cross negative, then most likely we'll see move to the upside, and then you look for your call cross. So very simple plan going into tomorrow for SPY. Will I be trading SPY tomorrow? Probably not, but we'll have to see what price action is like in the morning, and I'll pretty much go from there. But that's pretty much what happened on SPY today. I don't really have too much of a bias when it comes to SPY going into the rest of the week since we have CPI. I don't really care what happens, but Tesla, banger swing. Told you guys we're swinging this from Friday. I entered at 375 on the 372 on these contracts. So all the way down here, look at the move all the way up to 1586. I mean, this is a crazy move. I sold majority on that first 5-minute pump on off the open today. So this first candle right here, I was pretty much out of everything. I mean, look at the candle. We got all the way up to 1392 on those. I trimmed majority for probably around 160%, sold the rest. I actually ended up holding the other position I had going for a little bit. I ended up selling it somewhere up in this area. So pretty much right around the peak of that 5-minute high is probably where I ended up selling at. Somewhere on this pullback, I just ended up getting out. I didn't really care to hold it at that point. I wanted to see us break new high day, which never happened. So yeah, I mean, Tesla was such a good trade, man. 30-minute cross ended up just flying us. Then we ended up crossing on all the other time frames as expected. The 4 hour 50 ended up breaking. It didn't cross yet. If this does go and cross, maybe we see even higher. I mean, I don't even think we did actually come pretty close to that daily 50. So we did come close to that major resistance point, and that was another reason I did end up selling majority, because if we got that massive gap up that we were hoping for, or that rip off of open, it's going to put us near that daily 50 SMA, which it has sloped down quite a bit. So that's your spot you want to be taking heavy profits at, and even being up 200%. I mean, you got to trim anyways. I mean, we were up 50% at the close, like I said on Friday. Didn't feel like trimming. I was very confident in this trade. This is probably one of my higher conviction trades, probably of the last couple months. I mean, it was just such a good-looking chart. There was so much flow on this name for this week, and also everything kind of aligned. I mean, 30-minute chart was crossing on the call side. We had massive flow, and then if we were to look at the regular chart, this is what we ended up looking like. I mean, look at the daily chart. We broke out on Friday. We got a nice clear close above these previous highs, and breaking out this trend line right here, broke above those highs. Like I said, massive volume on Friday. And what do? We gap up and just rip today. We ended up swiping above these highs right up in here, and all-time highs at 488. Wouldn't be surprised if we end up reaching that eventually, but you know, I don't really care what happens from here. We got a massive gain off of it. Like, I care less if Tesla went to 0 right now. I'm out of the trade. Really good move. And yeah, I mean, Tesla was a pretty textbook trade to take on Friday. That's all I needed for the day. Going into tomorrow, some names that I'm gonna be watching. BABA or Baba. This is something that I am eyeing for a swing. I do like how this is kind of looking on the weekly. If I could just zoom out here. I don't know why my chart's like fixed here. I'm not sure why, but you can see on the weekly here, it's kind of just pulling back. Look at the daily. We do have this little trend line forming. If we just look like right up into this area, you can see we have this trend line forming. You can even draw it all the way from up in here on a larger, flag going all the way up in here. But if we do get some sort of break of these highs up in here, if we get like a break of this high up in here, I'd probably be open to taking a swing on Baba. Is a name I do like. It's kind of just coiling up right up in here. It's pulling back. Volume's kind of dying out after we got this explosive move higher. So that's a name I'm going to be watching over the next couple days, weeks. What else do we have? Apple. I think Apple, I did like this name for a short today. I just didn't get the entry I wanted. If we pull up the system charts real quick, we pull up Apple. This was looking really good. I just didn't get the entry, didn't get a pullback. If we look on the 275 puts right up in here, you can see you got this 30-minute cross right here. 10 SMA going above the 50. This pullback right here would have been your opportunity. I mean, you probably could have got filled around like 250, ran all the way up to 366. Solid move so far. And I think we'll probably have some, that 1 hour starting to cross. The 2 hour chart ended up breaking. It's probably going to cross, and you would be targeting this 4 hour 50 is where I'd be pretty much all out of this if we do get to that point. So, I mean, Apple did look good. Didn't get the entry I wanted. By the time I saw it, we were already at like $3 a piece. So I didn't feel like chasing that. And then Hood was another one that I really wanted. I mean, we just couldn't get the pullback on it. If we pull up the puts here, 30-minute time frame, I wanted to see a dip to the 50 today. We just never got it. It came all the way to $2 a piece. I wanted to get that 50. I mean, it was just too far from the SMAs or to the 50 where, I wasn't going to take the trade all the way up in here. I wanted to see the pullback, never got it, and Hood was going lower into the close, which, I mean, it was pretty expected. Every time frame is pretty much bearish on this name. 1 hour cross, the 2 hours crossing now is probably just going to go lower into this 4 hour 50 all the way up here at like 480, and maybe even hit the daily at 527. So Hood, unfortunately, not going to get our entry on this. It's probably going to just dump from here, but yeah, that was the name I was eyeing, and that's why I ended up liking it. It did cross on the 30-minute last week or on Friday. Could have ended up taking that. I don't even think I had this on my watch list then, so I didn't end up seeing it. But yeah, Hood was a nice name to try and catch. AMD, nothing really. I think Amazon ended up crossing on the puts, actually. Let me see what that looks like. 225 puts here. Yeah, I mean, geez. This 10 SMA going above the 50. 50 ended up curling here right off of open. Probably could have got an entry. I mean, it's not that much of a risk if you ended up entering off of this 30-minute close. So, like 10 o'clock, you probably could have actually gotten a solid move out of this. 275 all the way up to, 450. I mean, that's a pretty good move on Amazon. Trying to think of what other names. Google. What does Google look like? I'm pretty sure we are crossed on the 30. So, yeah, Google's a little bit more of an uglier chart. That's why I didn't end up taking it, because I saw price action up in here. 50 curled up nice, but it just, I don't know. The SMAs did look a little funky, so sat out of Google. I don't think there's really any other names I was watching. Obviously, Tesla, we got a massive move out of it, so I'm done with Tesla. But regular chart, I do like Galaxy. I saw some heavy flow for this name today to the downside. It might just, flush completely, but we kind of just broke this little uptrend we had going right up in here. These lows couldn't end up holding, or this little uptrend couldn't end up holding. So if we just remove these, you can see we zoom out. We have low here, low here, low here, and then we broke below it today off of open. And I mean, if we could get some sort of pullback up into the, I had this drawn earlier, but like these highs up until like these lows, I mean, a pullback in this zone would be pretty nice to get an entry on shorts, because I mean, massive volume lower today. This next candle maybe will open green and then kind of wick down to go lower, and pretty much targeting, maybe like 23 down there and then like $22. Galaxy, solid looking name to the downside, looks pretty weak, and like I said, we couldn't hold these this little uptrend we had going up in here. So yeah, maybe we'll get an entry on that tomorrow. Like I said, Baba, I'm not sure what else we have. There's obviously, I do favor down on the market. So I doubt these names are going to end up playing out like QBTS or QUBT. I mean, we had this, obviously these stacked highs up in here. I'm looking for some sort of breakout, which never ended up happening. So will that happen? Probably not. Same thing with like RR. I actually ended up stopping out of a trade I had for this first swing, because we had, it did look really nice. We had this massive volume day, break over these highs or over this high, end up entering on Friday and end up stopping out today. So a lot of these names are kind of just failing breakouts, so I don't think they're going to end up playing out. Like all these names like Piton, same thing ended up happening, failed breakout. And what else? I know there was USAR, failed breakout. And then I'm pretty sure there was one more. Yeah, BTBT, same thing. All these charts is very similar. I mean, failed breakout, market's heading lower, so obviously these names are a lot weaker and ended up dropping with it. So overall, I think we are going to go lower on SPY eventually. I don't know if it'll happen with CPI or what, but I think that 30-minute chart eventually is going to get across over the next week or two, and we're going to see it move lower. I just think that's what's going to happen. I can't really be bullish yet. Nothing on the charts really scream upside, so just going to have to go day by day, see what the 30-minute chart looks like, and go from there. Just take our 0DT crosses. If something really nice sets up, I've kind of been staying away from those, but yeah, you just got to look for those 5-minute crosses, and simple as that. If you want to take an entry, just look for one trade during the day, take your cross, take your reclaim, and just whatever happens from there. But like I said, I've been having a lot more fun just swinging individual names like Tesla. Tesla did not care. The market was down a bunch on Friday, and then today gaps up 2%, rips 5%. So yeah, just find the strong names in the market, and those are the ones you want to be focusing on. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. That's where I'm at all day, every day. I'm out. Peace.